The law school was created to meet a specific need that wasn't being met at the time.
If you're good at something, it doesn't matter if you're a male or female.
Judge Lawton's legacy and impact on this school is just beyond words to describe.
The spirit of New England School of Law is an amazing thing.
So, yeah, New England is my school, and we're doing great things there.
It's just a very special history. No other law school has it.
And many, many women have graduated from this institution and carry on its legacy.
People seemed to like being here.
Because this law school instills the practical and the possible.
It's been a great adventure, and I feel privileged to have been part of it.
It's a story of independence.
It's a story of opportunity.
It's a story of courage.
It's my story.
It's my story.
It's my story.
It's my story.
It started in 1908 with two women who asked Arthur McLean to tutor them for the bar. While history indicates McLean was a practical man, his decision of independence and courage helped to change the face and the gender of the practice of law forever.
Women weren't voting in 1908, much less going to law school.
It was probably not politically correct to talk about women being lawyers back in those days.
Arthur McLean's willingness to recognize the fact that women might want to go to law school and women may make pretty damn good lawyers was truly visionary.
It's because of people like him that I'm sitting here today.
He understood something that I think that others in his time missed, which is the richness of diversity, what it has to offer our society and our culture.
He planted the seed, and all of those that came after him worked very, very hard to bring it to the success that it's had today.
By 1918, McLean had an enrollment of 91 students, and the country's first law school for women was officially named Portia Law School.
My name is Charlotte Sokolov. I have very fond memories of Portia Law. There was such a diversity of women in the class that it was an education in itself. We were not afforded the opportunity then as much as the men were. It's just that we had a desire to further education.
After years of growth, it became clear that in order to thrive through changing times, the law school would need to provide opportunities, not just for women, but opportunities for all to pursue the study of law.
New England School of Law is truly a school of opportunity.
I think many of us wouldn't have been able to go to law school were it not for New England School of Law.
So clearly it's a school that was devoted to helping people get a legal education, whether they were traditional students or non-traditional students.
Every student that comes in has the opportunity to mold or remake the institution in his or her own vision.
The greatest opportunity it provided me was meeting Sandra Day O'Connor.
In the summer of my second year of law school, I was able to do an internship with Justice Cordy at the Massachusetts Supreme Judicial Court.
Most recently, I was able to work on a project that allowed me to assess the legal basis for trying perpetrators of crimes that were committed in Kenya.
Well, it provided the opportunity for me to ultimately become a judge.
Because New England doesn't take a cookie-cutter approach to providing education and giving people a career path, I knew that anything was open to me.
Soon, this school of opportunity began looking for opportunities of its own, opportunities to help provide more for its students and faculty. And the school found one in a new visionary to lead the law school in a new direction.
Judge Lawton was one of the most extraordinary persons that I've ever known.
He was a friend and a mentor to a lot of us. He was so interested in people's lives.
I've heard the stories many times when the school was struggling in its early days, how he reached into his pocket to keep it going.
His efforts caused this law school to be made known throughout the country.
He seemed to have that ability to pick people who were going to bring the school to the next level,
And he recognized that whether the school to survive and prosper, we needed ABA approval.
Many of us would not have had the opportunity that we'd had for a legal education had not been for Jim Lawton.
So the two most important aspects of Judge Lawton's legacy are ABA approval and Dean John O'Brien.
But I think there's no question that the glue is Dean O'Brien, keeping the vision of Judge Lawton and others going.
His impact on me can't be measured.
My name is John Simpson. I'm a graduate of Portia Law School, class of 1964. I was privileged to have a wonderful education from Portia, which allowed me to be the director of the Secret Service. I had an opportunity to be president of Interpol. And from a guy who grew up in Roxbury to a guy who was talking to the President of the United States, I used to go home and shake my head every once in a while to see if I was really, really doing what I thought I was doing and not dreaming. Fortunately for we in the United States, we have some of the most outstanding individuals who run the country and the interest that they have in making sure things are right. And I don't think you're going to get too many schools who are so involved in the successes of the student as New England School of Law now and Portia when I went. Whatever successes I had, I attributed to the good fortune of going to Portia.
Fulfilling the legacy of McLean and Lawton, New England School of Law has become a school with a rich tradition and a unique place in the law community in New England and across the country.
What makes New England so special to me is the enthusiasm of the students who attend here.
I always had the feeling when I was at New England that all the students, we were kind of in it together.
People cared. Students cared, the faculty cared, the administration cared.
It's this culture of mutual support and mutual respect.
It fosters sort of an independent spirit that you can just go out and do anything and do it in your own way.
Because of this law school, I had the courage to enter the judiciary in Rhode Island.
And it gives them the confidence to be independent thinkers.
Students at New England have an independent streak, in part because I think they recognize the opportunity that has been given to them.
I feel a lot of pride and a deep appreciation and sense of belonging for where this school has been and where it's taken me.
My name is Natasha Tidwell. I graduated from New England in 2003, and I am currently working as an assistant United States attorney for the District of Massachusetts here in Boston. I had, prior to graduation, thought that I would stay with the police department. Within, a few weeks, the Justice Department called and had offered me a position, so it was, you're moving to Washington. So to think me, I'm in these courts in the Virgin Islands and in Hawaii doing trial work, and I'm making arguments, and me from the evening division at New England is doing these great things, and people are listening to what I have to say was incredible. But I knew that at some point I wanted to come back home. And when a position opened up here at the U.S. Attorney's Office in Boston in their organized crime section, the strike force, and I was offered that job, it was time to come home.
What we're doing here is resonating out in the legal community.
There's a real feeling that there's quality, that the students we get from here are going to be good.
This has truly become a pursuit of excellence at this law school.
I feel an enormous sense of pride in the school.
Everyone recognizes us as one of the premier law schools around.
It's been great for me to be able to stand on the shoulders of the generations who have walked before me.
And I think that spirit will continue no matter how big the law school gets.
I feel very fortunate and very proud of how far we've come, of who we are as an institution.
It's a story of independence.
It's a story of opportunity.
It's a story of courage.
It's my story.
It's my story.
It's my story.
It's our story.